How are you now? It's James Whelan here, live to the nation. Barclay Pierce Capital's Wealth Management Chief Investment Officer. No, I'm not. I'm the Managing Director. Brought to you by Gant. Brought to you by Wakey Wakey. You are listening to the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. I am joined by friend, hero, crusader. Welcome to the Crusader, my good friend, South Australian Heath Moss of HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Very well, thanks, mate. Very well, and a happy Valentine's Day to you, mate.
I forgot. I
Valentine's Day.
completely forgot about. I completely forgot about. No, I remembered. I remembered it. But as I left, my wife works from home. This is
Yep,
what 20 years of marriage will do to you.
yep.
It's good. It's good that I can talk this way because I know that she doesn't listen to the podcast. She's never listened to anything that I've ever put down ever. So there you go.
I'm a bit the same with my wife too. She doesn't listen.
I was like, "Did you hear me on that podcast today?" I was great. She's like, I've never listened to anything or watched anything that you've ever done on any form of media. I've never read anything that you've written at all. So it's like, okay, um, yeah, and she's working on this piece. She works from home. She's working on this massive thing that she's going through. She sort of barked something and she said, "Not now. I'm working on this thing." I was just like, "Well, out the door I go." No, no goodbye, no I love yous, no anything. I get hit by a bus. That's the last thing that we're going to say to each other.
Mate, you got time to get some chockies and some flowers on the way home, don't you?
We don't do Valentine's Day. We never have.
Yeah,
It was actually an early agreement. I was just like, "Do you go for this stuff?" She said, "I don't go for this stuff." Plus, and I was like, "We make every day. We make every day is a day. Just to
yeah,
surprise people that you can."
yeah, yeah.
I might. You know what? I'm going to get her the berry flavored wakey wakey for Valentine's Day. The
Oh,
perfect Valentine's Day gift for all those people that you love. Men, women, partners. It doesn't matter. We don't discriminate in this country.
yeah.
Hello,
It's
hello world.
it's very good, very good.
It's very good. It's very
Very
delicious.
good. No,
All right,
beautiful,
I'm going to be slapping some of that in there,
beautiful.
and there it goes. Thank you very much. And that speaking, you know what? I will get. Maybe I will get the cheese and kisses for Valentine's Day. Is a Broken Hill Mines
Broken
hat,
Hill Mines.
which
It's
we
got the
got at.
swag.
It's I mate. I'm a merch junkie, just straight into
Oh.
the veins, mate. As you know, sponsored by Gant today.
Mm-hmm.
Heath sponsored by.
Gazman,
He's
Gazman,
rocking. He's
as
rocking the
usual.
Gazman.
Yep, yep,
Okay, I'm the brand ambassador for Gant. Heath Moss, brand ambassador for Gazman. As you can see, rocking the merch, rocking the labels, pretty good. Yeah, we got the Broken Hill Mines hat at the Ivy. We went to the Ivy for their listing. The prospectus went out. I actually have not had a chance to look at the prospectus, but we had a look through the whole presentation. Pat Walter, sharp dressed man, is going to be heading up that company. They are bringing a whole bunch of broken mines that are in Broken Hills, zinc and silver are the two main players that are out there.
mm,
They've got some amazing deposits. And it's going to be a big media thing if it hasn't been already. It'll be the
yep,
first time in the history of the entire history of that area that the mines will be owned fully 100% Australian owned. There's
yep,
always been there's some sort of foreign ownership being a part of it. I mean, Broken Hill moved out of there a long time ago. But yeah, so this is bringing them all together, including quite a significant deposit that's in there that has just literally been done, a silver mine that has just
mm,
been put together by a guy who is just a classic miner. He's drilled deep down, but has not had it assayed, whatever you want to say it, but has not had it assayed. Just he knows what's in there. And they're saying he
yep.
knows what's in there. We don't theoretically know what's in there, but we know that he knows what's in there. We know that there's something good that's there. I'm keen on this one. It's good. They're backdooring it through Cooler Bar, which is a company that we've quite close to for a while. Anyway, that's it. So keep an eye on Broken Hill Mines. It's going to be
What's
that's going to be the way to go.
what's the code for Cool Bar at the moment, and when is it all finalised? Do you know?
You've absolutely put me on the spot here. Funnily enough, my laptop is propped up with the Cooler Bar prospectus.
CBH. Obviously, that will change when Broken Hill comes through. They'll change
Anyway,
their I think it's going to be BHM in the end, by the
yeah,
looks of it.
it's that's
Yeah.
I think that's going to be it. Yes, but it's yeah. So Barclay Pierce Capital actually did the was JLM for Cooler Bar as well. So this is going to be great. Good continuation of the story. It's
Yep.
good cashed up, good holding. Cooler Bar's got good stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so this sort of continues that story, which is fantastic. So it's a
Yeah.
consolidation of 3-1,
Yep.
and cash going in from the raise. Anyway,
And
that's that.
I think that's going to be a thing for 2025 with the juniors. The spec end of thing is a lot of these backdoor listings and assets being brought through the back door because the IPOs are just still really struggling at the moment and globally, not just here in Australia.
Tell me about
But
it.
so it's really hard to get an IPO off the ground at the moment. So I think this is the way it will happen for 2025.
Unless well, it's not really an IPO; it's a dual listing. Wellnex just
Oh
hit
yes,
the notes, hit the screen, came back into trading today, the 14th of February. 2025. Wellnex came back on WNX. There's a rights issue, 1-for-1 rights issue at 65 cents. Obviously, I mean, we're tied to the stock, so that's it. We do the advisory, so I'm not gonna bang the drum too much. I cop too much heat from that from people who's just like. But obviously I'm close to stock. I'm literally about to start drinking a wakey wakey, but it's listing in. So they've already received bids of $9 million from our London guys, which is
Fantastic.
great, an amazing sort of thing. It'll get, well, hope is not a strategy, but confident that we're going to get past the number that we need to get to. Can raise up to $22 million. That pays for the last deferred payment of Pain Away, gets rid of the con notes as well, cash in the bank, gas in the tank, and then it's off to the races. So you're listed in London. I'll tell you what, the London broker enthusiasm for this has actually been getting the mail and the feedback. Even if you sort of dumb it down for just people just being enthusiastic at this time for this, even if you sort of dumb it down and halve it, that's pretty good for London chatter. So I'm pretty keen on this one. There should be a shortfall as well. Good chance for people to get involved in that too. 65 cents. So all care. Oh, sorry. He says all. It's not really all care, no responsibility. It's just not. I've got a lot of care and a responsibility, so don't worry about that. It's just general advice. Go and check it out with your own broker and see what you can do on that one. Heath, Matt, what's the latest from your end?
Not much. Not much. It's been bloody hot here. We had 43 the other day. Stinking hot, and the air conditioner's on the fritz in the car again. It's not good. No, we had it fixed about a month ago, and the same problems happened again. And luckily, it's all under warranty. So yeah, we have to get that fixed. I think it's on Monday. So we're getting a little bit of cooler weather now, so it's a little bit better. But yeah, not much here. Back to the swing of things. Kids back at school. You know how it goes. Your life just gets very busy all of a sudden when kids are back at school. So yeah.
It's the annoying thing with it is having to shorten your day, the edges of your day, and just go, okay, I'm now bound by this 3 o'clock or 3:10 thing that has to kick in.
Yep.
Which is annoying because I usually back end my day quite significantly. I'm a classic sort of I get bogged down, and this job will bog you down through the morning as well. I need to see this, I need to hear this, I need to have a chat to you about this, grab this, sign this, move this, change this, approve this transfers that you've got to do. And so the only chance you get is at the back end of the day. And then if someone sends you a message and say, "Hey, I need you to come pick up one of the kids, or you need to do something," so you know how it goes.
It's like that. Yeah. Knock on wood, no sick days so far this year, but we're only 2 and a bit weeks in. So
you're due for one, I'd say. The way that your family,
don't say that.
Like your family just there's too many jokes.
We've had a good run this year.
Folds like a card table, the Moss family, mate. So
we've had a good run this year. We had the mother-in-law who went down with COVID. Was it last week or the week before? And I'm like, oh no, this is going to start this because she'd just been at our place the day before. So I'm like, oh, this is it. But we're all good. So knock on wood, we're fine. We're healthy. We're looking good. No complaints. So we're happy, hoping to keep it that way.
Nice work, mate. All right, let's rock right in. I've got radio, Hong Kong radio interview.
Hong Kong radio.
Oh, it's radio. Oh, you know what? You've hit me up now. Just confirming. Yeah, I know. I've got these guys here from. I can remember what they're called. It's Carolyn Wright, who's an old friend of mine from Bloomberg days.
Yeah.
She does. I know that. Chris Weston does these Money Talk. It's Money Talk on.
Yes.
What is radio? I can't. SK Radio, whatever it's. Anyway.
Yep.
It's a radio station based in Hong Kong that does those sorts of things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Hong Kong radio. Anyway, so I've got that. So whatever you tell me, I'm just going to repeat and do there. So let's go, make it good. Those are parallel lines. Those are breaching. I'll tell you what, Heath has just put on a chart that is a very viable chart there. Support has been tested, has shown to be working. It's breached the breakout there. That is the S&P 500. Is that
S&P
just because 500. Of the inflation, the inflation numbers that were? How about I let you do the talking? How does that sound?
Yeah. All right.
No, I'll just jump in, mate.
We had a reasonable night last night after, before I was going to bed and doom scrolling on Twitter as you do. And Trump puts out a tweet saying, hey, we've got these reciprocal tariffs coming in, 1 o'clock meeting, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to wake up to the morning. It's going to be carnage. But I woke up this morning. It was very placid. And what he said was basically they've got a plan for reciprocal tariffs. There's a study being done on them at the moment, to be finished by the April 1st, April Fool's Day, nonetheless. And
Mm,
he's not implementing them yet. He wants a level playing field when it comes to tariffs. So what he means by that is, he's happy to drop tariffs if other countries drop them on American products. Because I mean,
yeah,
what people don't realize is there's huge tariffs on a lot of American products around the world. I mean, tariffs aren't a new thing; they're just very individualized. They're not, blanket tariffs as Trump has been putting on. So,
yeah,
and basically, then he said like, no one size fits all. So it was a much softer tone than what he was, pre-election. And I think the markets took that in a good light and
it
went
seemed
with
to me
that.
as
So it
well.
was up. They were up over 1%. Of course, we had the hotter CPI data, but again, Fed power poured hot, cold water over that, simply saying, we're not reading too much into one or two data points. We don't see a trend there, and we do know that a lot of the rental inflation comes out in this first half, moving along. So that's going to keep a lid on inflation stats. So the market was buoyed by that, but you can see from the lines there, we made a high. When was that? That was 23rd of January. We made the high of 6,118. Knocked on the door of that last night at 6,115 on the SPX. We were sort of trending, had a small downtrend there, but
Mm.
it's been trading in a very tight range. I put it in my newsletter that everything has happened in the last week or so, but nothing has happened
I
because the
did see
market,
that. Yeah, it seems like
yeah,
nothing has happened. That's right.
nothing's happened. So
I'll echo that as well. That it
yeah,
seems that
yeah,
because, and I've been saying this sort of as well, which is that anyone who says Trump will do this and it will have this outcome is either lying or stupid.
yeah,
Um, or they're just trying to persuade you, or they think that they know and they don't, which sort of goes into the stupid sort of situation. That
exactly.
to say definitively Trump will do these inflationary things and he will be inflationary. I believe that it possibly is going to go in that direction, but I think that you're incorrect
Maybe
in
maybe in
saying it's
his
definitive.
maybe in his
Okay.
first term, yes, but the
Yeah.
second term, he has some very smart people around him, especially like the treasurer, Scott Bassett. He's
Yeah.
fantastic. The way he speaks and the way he wants to take America is fantastic. So we've got a breakout there of that downtrend. So no doubt the SPX hits probably new highs tonight. We do have Nvidia earnings to worry about in a couple of weeks.
Nvidia.
Yeah, Nvidia,
Oh,
which will
hey, quick!
be.
I've got a quick question. I'm going to jump in. What was the actual in the PPI stuff that was last night? What were the actual bits that were in there that people looked at that said that it was actually positive for the market? Did you have that?
I haven't had a quick, I haven't
Okay.
had a look. I haven't look. Yeah, we had to go
Sorry.
on Ausbiz this morning, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it
Sorry.
came in hotter than expected. The PPI last night, along with the
Yeah.
CPI, but the correlation with the PPI and CPI is quite low,
Yep.
because there's a whole smattering of things that happens between something, someone buying stuff for manufacturing and then selling it on to the consumer. So, I've forgotten where I was at. But yeah, we see
All right.
see the breakout. We got Nvidia in a
Nvidia.
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
People are going to be glued to that more than ever because of this deep seek stuff. But I mean, we've seen from the rest of the Mag 7 now, from the Mag 7, they're going to spend $310 billion this year on capex alone. So it seems that rhetoric that, deep
Rhetoric.
seeks, yeah, that too. Um,
Yeah.
that has come along that DeepSeek has made things heaps cheaper, so that we don't
Mm.
need all these chips, etc. That's out the door, and we've seen
Okay.
things unravel for DeepSeek a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So,
Okay.
and especially like Amazon coming out is going to spend 100 billion. Google 75 billion, which was 50% higher than last year. I mean,
Yep.
it's just phenomenal the numbers that are being thrown around. So,
I did manage to pull off Bloomberg. Bloomberg had an amazing piece. I'll send it to you, Heath. But
yeah, send it to me.
but that on infrastructure, AI, because my biggest play is on AI infrastructure. That
Yeah,
I love talking about that. I love reading about it. There's a really good one on Bloomberg. That's that one. That I'll flick it over across to you later on. If anyone does have access to that, go and check it out too. On that infrastructure, I'm in a super big rush today, mate. So let's rock
let's
and
crack
roll.
and roll.
I did see your Google comment as well. Just that was the best place sort of side of things to go into.
Yeah, look,
Um,
I'll bring Google up quickly. Or Alphabet. No one calls it Alphabet, but yeah.
I'm not.
You
I'll
can
never call
see,
it Alpha. I'll never call it X either. It's always going to be Twitter. It's always going to be
and
Google.
it's
I don't
never
care.
It's never Meta. It's always Facebook.
It's
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah. You can see there this big red candle here was when they
Yeah.
reported the other week.
Mm.
They slightly missed on revenue and on cloud, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, my theory with Google is they're obviously in the Mag 7. They're never talked about in terms of the Mag 7. It's always Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, etc. So these guys aren't talked about, and they're only trading 18 times forward 26 earnings. They're gonna pump out $90 billion in free cash flow next
Mm.
year. They're going to have $450 billion in revenue. It's just insane, some of these numbers. And they've got so many levers to pull. I mean, they've got search revenue. The whole worry with Google was these AI large language models would come through and disrupt search. But it seems like they're complementing it now. You go to Google, you ask it a question, and Gemini comes up straight away with their answer, and then the links below. And
That's great.
yeah, and internally AI is driving revenue as well because they're using it to better direct advertising, and their clients are seeing a better ROI. So then you got YouTube. So like search advertising is growing 12%, YouTube advertising growing 14%. Cloud is now profitable. 12 months ago, it was not profitable. So there are so many levers for, and they want 500 million users on Gemini within the next few years. And with seven products with a billion plus users, I think they get there easy. And I just think they're very undervalued compared to peers. I mean, you look at something like Nvidia's around 26 times forward earnings, Apple's around 32, Microsoft's around 30. I mean, they're very, very cheap compared to that. So I think they go back to around the 210 mark. They're currently about 187. And the upside, I think, is around 250 from in the next 12 months, based on, if you extrapolate multiples and if their multiples grow similar to what the other ones are, then I think, yeah, they're a really good value around here. So I'm
I'm
starting
happy
to
to be a buyer
accumulate.
there.
Yeah, happy to accumulate Google around here. I think they're a
Yep.
high quality company. Yep. So just quickly move on to yields. I saw them spike at the start of January. They've come down, spiked a little bit again, but have come off again on the back of Powell comments and tariff sort of playing down tariffs with Trump.
I'm going to say that the PPI data is also why like PPI data was up, but the elements that were in it did strip it back compared to the
Yeah,
CPI stuff. It basically Thursday night offset Wednesday night, just a
yeah,
straight one for one reversal between those
yeah,
two. That the yields are like, and they're big candles for the 10-year.
yeah. They are.
Um,
They're what? They're 5 to 10 basis points in a night, which is big moves for the
yeah,
10 year. In an instrument, in an investment instrument that's supposed to be not volatile, but we've
stable and
seen.
not shifting around. It
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
there's there's no set outcome for how this is actually going to look, and so that's I keep stressing that's the
Yep.
case. While you're there, sorry, I'm just going to do and switch it over to my screen here.
All right, I'll stop sharing.
Thank you. I'm trying to teach my guys about knowing how to share really quickly on their tech. That is the market implied Fed funds rate.
Beautiful.
I'm going to say no
So
cuts.
what? Two cuts by February 26th there. So yeah, I think that's underplaying it.
Mm,
My theory
mm,
of, as I said before, Trump's come in, pause hiring on federal employees, and actually they're starting to come off. There was news yesterday that 75,000 had accepted the redundancy plan that he put forward to start with, and they'll only get to probably get more than that. But because government hiring has been such a huge weight on the and momentum for the jobs numbers in the past 3 years,
mm.
if you take that away, the private market hasn't been hiring all that much. It has still been hiring, but not that much. So I think that's where we see the unemployment rate start to creep up,
Yep.
and more cuts start to be factored in.
Excellent, mate.
So
I did
yeah,
actually have some other stuff that was in here as well, but I realized I was actually sharing probably more on my screen than I needed to do at the time. Um,
I'll get back to
uh,
mine, and we'll
that's all right. The second I said mine was going to
quickly
be, yeah, no, go on. You go.
cover gold and copper. I think.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yep. Gold hitting new highs again last night around the
Mm.
2,960 around that mark an ounce. This
Oh
is
my goodness.
COMEX, not and obviously the play there has been the orders from the COMEX coming from the LME, ordering physical gold from the LME because they're worried about the effect of tariffs, and that funds over in America are worried about they're going to get cooled on their contracts, so they will want delivery of this physical gold. They don't simply their stockpiles are quite low. They have built right back up, but their stockpiles are quite low on the COMEX, and so London's metal exchange are having trouble filling the physical orders. Now the Bank of England have very large reserves that they can borrow from, over 8,000 tons, but they're all in 400-ounce bars, and they have to be converted to 100-ounce bars to satisfy the COMEX orders. So orders are now taking 4 to 8 weeks versus a few days previously. So this is pushing the price of gold up, plus, just more central bank buying, especially from emerging markets. And we're starting to see investment flows from investment products again. Last 3 years, it's been negative, but we're starting to see that positivity turn around. So if central banks keep buying and then investment flows come back, that's a lot of upward pressure on gold still. And it's up 12% for the year so far. But I do think Australian gold miners will outperform the gold price for the full year. I think you're going to see, because the Australian dollar remains lower, gold price stays the same or keeps on going higher. That means better earnings and larger margins for Australian gold miners, and the analysts and brokers will start pushing up their price targets. And
I have seen. Yep, I saw a headline. It came out of Bloomberg saying that now is the time that the upgrades are going to start kicking through into the juniors as well, which is brilliant. I think there's going to be a lot of people that have been holding some gold juniors
for a long time.
Look at the price. All I need is the price of gold to get to such and such, and it's all gonna. So this is just like, sir, you've been holding this since 1987. When is it going to happen for you?
those marginal producers that have very high costs to get it out of the ground start to outperform here as well because of that leverage. So I've said before, I prefer Gold Road, I prefer Northern Star and Bellevue in terms of producers, and I can add Spartan Gold in terms of the developers. I think they're really good value.
Spartan.
Yes, Spartan.
Yes, of course.
SPR is their code. So yeah, that's gold. And if we look at copper, very similar here. Look at that. Copper
Holy
is up.
Christmas. You blink and you miss it, don't you?
Yeah, it's up 11% in a week, copper, and basically the same rarity, the sort of premise.
You can't say rhetoric, can you?
I know. It's my South
Let's
Australian.
just make a note of this. Is this the juice box Tetra Pak thing, South Australian, the situation that you can't say rhetoric?
Yeah, something like
that. Or
that.
even rhetoric. Rhetoric is also acceptable.
The premise here is similar to gold. Worried about tariffs, but also China have put about a day ago put further curbs on their smelting because obviously it's still negative. They're losing money on the smelting over there.
The smelting is
too much capacity. Can't get enough of the physical metal at a good price to make a profit at the smelters. So they're limiting capacity. And
doubled up with the fact. Sorry, you go. Yep. We'll see what your end is going to be, and I'll do my end.
And the property market is turning around. The property market is turning around. We're seeing transaction volumes in the big cities go.
Can I just do? I'll just do some reading. I'll just do my reading really, really quickly. You ready? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
This is off Bloomberg, 13th of the 2nd, 2025, 1309 minutes. Sometime I don't know, BN, whatever that time. Bloomberg News. China's property market is showing signs of stabilizing, with land plots in key cities sold at high premiums in recent weeks, according to a report in the Economic Inflation Daily. Beijing, Shenzhen, and Hangzhou have recorded premiums in land auctions this year, thanks to supportive policies and improving market confidence, the newspaper said Thursday. That contrasts with earlier auctions that closed at low prices with little interest from developers. So, turnaround scene like that, but maybe a stabilization is probably the first way without getting ahead of yourself. Yes, so copper up on limitations on smelters and also on a stabilizing profit market. Copper going up 11% is something to be paying attention to.
Yep, and I think I don't know if we've seen it, but house prices for January, I'm not sure if we've seen the data for that yet. If that turned, because December was down only slightly, it was down 0.08% in China house prices. If we see a positive uptick there, I think the market gets really, really excited and starts pouring more into some of these commodities, including copper. So copper is looking really, really good here, which obviously helps a lot of the Australian miners that are listed, especially BHP and South 32 and Rio and stuff like that. So
there's copper. Yeah. There's a really good copper stock. That Alma Metals is the best, apparently the best levered, or one of our best levered copper picks that we've got.
Yep.
Going into that huge holding up near Rockham. Gladstone.
In Queensland.
In Queensland. Big, low grade, but huge holding.
Have you looked at Develop Global lately, DVP? I mean, I've got clients that still hold this.
Don't do it. Yeah, we put people into that. We made money out of that, didn't we? It did really well.
It's $2.93. It's almost
So
$3, and we're buying that at 2 to 2.20. So,
yeah, good.
um, yeah, they've got the Woodlawn copper project that is about to spin back up. So, looking
Right.
very, very good there. So, they just had a price target upgrade by a Bell Potter to $4. So, that's another
DVP was one of the
dollar.
best ones we
Yeah,
had, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
that was a good one. We did really well with that one.
yeah.
Mate, we got to. I got to shuffle. What else you got?
That's basically it. I mean, if you look at oil's come off because of peace talks with Ukraine, Russia, and America. Looks like Trump is going to get that done. And we had
Under what
obviously,
terms though? It's an interesting one. There's not. Don't put that one in the box, mate. Yet I think there's a lot of people that are like, hang on, Ukraine is not fully on board with this entire idea, and I don't. I think that there's going to be people who are. I mean, I
I
don't know if
think
Europe wants to be dependent on Russian gas. I don't think the US
that won't
wants
go. That
Europe
won't
to be.
happen. That won't happen.
It's yeah,
Yeah, Russia will continue to supply other nations like China, Iran, etc. with their gas. That's what happened. All of these things did was just divert where oil was being sold to previously to another buyer.
yeah,
And Russia has got, caps on them. So caps like that will be removed.
yeah,
Nothing changes because, America benefits from the sale of their gas to Europe now too much, their LNG.
yeah.
So nothing will change there. And I think I don't think Ukraine's got a choice here. They won't be able to join NATO. They'll probably have to annex some of the eastern side of the country, which I think most of the villages there want to be part of Russia anyway.
I think
Um,
that's pretty
yeah,
much how they voted in a referendum a little while
yeah,
ago that they did actually
yeah,
want to go that way.
yeah, and
Anyway,
yeah, yeah. So I think this gets done this year. I think
okay,
it's all wrapped up this year. Yeah.
cool.
All right.
Uh, that's apart from the Monday. That's got to be the worst Super Bowl. I can't believe that I had time reserved to watch that game. That
I
was an
enjoyed
absolute
it.
debacle. An
I
absolute
loved
debacle.
I love watching the Chiefs get beat up, and Mahomes had an absolute stinker. But I mean, if
Mate,
you
Kels,
give the player of the match to the Eagles defense, you would have done that because
their O line,
yeah,
that O line that protected
hurts.
Hurts for as long as he needed it was there,
Yep,
but the defense that they just went straight through. And then you look
yep,
at the replays. Travis Kels was just absent,
yeah,
like complete, like wasn't on the field, didn't show up
yep,
at all. Not involved in the plays, not involved in just all he needed to do was just chip that guy on the edge sometimes, and he just
yep.
completely missed out on doing it. I was disappointed. Anyway, I've got to bounce, mate. I'm going to get a call from another side in a few
No
seconds, mate.
worries.
Peace be with you, my friend. That's all I've got. Thank you for joining us here on the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. I have been and still will remain James Whelan of Barclay Pierce Capital's Wealth Management Team, joined here by Heath Moss from HLM Investments. Any questions or comments or feedbacks, please let us know. In 2 weeks, you will see us on the big show, all new,
Big
all
show.
done, everything like that. A bit more entertaining, a bit more people involved in it too. A bit bigger, a bit better, a bit smoother, a bit faster, a bit more expensive. Okay. Thanks very much, everyone. Have yourself a good day. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, everyone.